Why, hello. My name is Quentin Denton, owner of the Quentin Denton channel, of course. You guys might know me for making autocross videos and general videos about my car, but today, I'm going to start a new project. On every second Sunday, well, I'm going to try my best to make it every second Sunday, I'm going to talk to you guys about certain car topics, news, car reviews, or just general tips on how much things might cost if you're interested in doing something car related. Welcome to Quentin's Topics. Now, we're going to break this into multiple factors and multiple sections throughout the video because there are a lot of things to consider when it comes to cost of autocross. First, you have to think what vehicle you're going to take. How much is that vehicle going to cost? And is it going to pass tech? If not, how much is it going to cost so it can actually pass tech? If you have a new car, you're pretty much not going to have to worry about that, but that's going to also be very expensive to buy a new car. So that's the first thing we're going to have to worry about. Second thing, how much is it going to cost to even get to the venue? And how much is it going to cost to actually run the actual event? Fuel is getting very, very expensive now. Over here in Alabama, it is over $3 a gallon. And if you guys know me, I mostly use my Barth, which is all the way over there, to autocross. And that car uses premium fuel. I can use 87 if I want, but to get max performance, I need to use premium fuel. And that's close to $4 a gallon. Now, my venue is about 30 miles away. So not only do I have to drive 30 miles on the highway, I also have to run the event all day long. And I'm pretty much just driving my car and leaving it on for most of the event. So there's a lot of things to consider too when it comes to fuel costs. Third, are you going to be taking a day off of work to do this? You have to consider this because you're going to be losing money because you took off work. So that's also one big thing to consider. And second is safety preparations. Helmets. Helmets are very, very expensive because even though you're just driving on, which is mostly closed parking lots, or if you're lucky enough like me, you get to run on a track, which probably won't be like that next year, you still have to have an SA rated helmet. Like, wow. And these helmets are very, very expensive. Some of these places don't give out loaner helmets, some do. But just in case you go into an event and they don't, you're going to need an SA rated helmet. So that's pretty much all I can think about when it comes to expenses. So let's get started. I hope you guys are enjoying this beautiful Sunday. Like, wow. I'm so used to being outside and just sweat dripping out of my face, but it feels great. It's probably about 68, 70 degrees. It really tells you that my favorite season is here. But today on Quentin's Topics, we are going to talk about how much it costs to autocross. Now on to the first part of the expenses. Actually getting a car or getting a car and getting it to pass tech. That can be really expensive, especially the way that used car prices are right now. So, we're going to go ahead and start with this first car. This is my 2016 Abarth 500. And this was not cheap. I bought this car for $16,000. And of course, it's a 2016, and everything is pretty much going to be good on it. So already, my main autocross car is $16,000. Now, you can go the more traditional route and get yourself a Mazda MX-5 Miata. But that's not a very easy thing to do either. Also, don't pay attention to that. I am getting a new top soon, so it's not going to look raggedy like that. So, Continuing. Most people in autocross uses Miatas. But with the way that Miata prices are right now, it's actually getting harder and harder to get one for cheap. I bought this one for $1,500. You're not going to be able to get that cheap anymore. I'm sorry. I can probably sell this one for $5,000, and it still needs work for it to actually be able to pass tech. So one of the first things I need to do to get it to pass tech, I'm going to have to get a new exhaust. Now, you wouldn't believe it, but Autocross, they actually do have noise regulations. Your car cannot be extremely loud, and this car is extremely loud. So if you end up buying a Miata or pretty much any car with a loud ass exhaust, you're not going to be able to run in the course. Plus, there's also multiple problems that this car has as well. Now, you're going to laugh about this one. Look at this seatbelt. Like, oh my god. I actually had to ghetto rig the seatbelt because the whole seatbelt receiver pretty much rusted out. So they see that. They're not going to be able to let me go. Like, honestly. There's also more problems you have to think about, like suspension problems, old tires, worn down tires. Even your lug nuts have to be extremely tight. Like, they'll even test out your lug nuts. Your car cannot leak oil. It cannot leak coolant. Like, your car really has to be in good shape. Now, this Mustang right here, I do think I'd be able to take this if I ever did go autocrossing with it. Because pretty much nothing's wrong with this car. The only reason I would not go with this Mustang is because it's automatic transmission. But that's not a reason not to go necessarily. Just know that some cars, like performance cars like this, might actually have a premium when it comes to transmission. Manuals normally go for a lot more than automatics, just so you can consider that. Now, on the second point, fuel costs. Fuel is getting very expensive, like I said earlier in the video. And it really depends on what car you're driving. Now, if you're driving a Miata or like an old Honda Civic, you're pretty much not going to have to worry about gas that much, especially if you live close to the venue. But me, I drive a Fiat 500 Abarth, and that car uses premium, and I live about 30 miles away. So I fill up my car with premium gas, and it'll be about $30 before the tank reaches full capacity, which really isn't that bad, but it just shows you how small the gas tank is on that car. Though, there's a good thing about that car as well. It gets about 30 to 40 miles per gallon on the highway with cruise control activated, so it doesn't really use up that much gas driving to the event. But after the event, it does use a good amount of gas because I'm running it all day pretty much from 7 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And it's pretty much on 24/7. The only time it's off is whenever I'm doing my corner work or I'm at lunch for an hour. But other than that, that thing is on, especially during the summer when it's really hot and I have to have the AC on full blast. So that takes a lot of gas out of my car for real. Now, this right here is a Ford Mustang GT, and it comes with a 4.6 liter V8 engine. This car doesn't use premium gas. You don't have to use it on the GTs at least. Now, I do see a lot of people using Mustang GTs in these events. These things are gas hogs. I mean, it really is. I only drive this thing probably about 10 to 20 miles a week. And this thing is already out of gas, and I put gas in about a few weeks ago. About 60 miles. I put about $15 of regular gas in it, and gas wasn't even $30 yet back then. So you can really imagine how much the really big muscle cars really drink up gas. So gas is a really big consideration when it comes to wanting to autocross. One thing that you guys are going to have to consider are work-related costs. I'm pretty much assuming that a lot of you guys don't have the weekends off. I know I don't. I have to work on Saturdays, and most of the events are on Saturday. Luckily, for the next two events for the rest of the year, they're on Sunday. I'm off on every Sunday. But I might be lucky, but a lot of you guys probably aren't either. So you guys gotta consider how much money are you gonna lose from not working that day. For me, I can lose on average from $120 to $200 a day because of me being off. Like, that's potential money that I could make during that Saturday working where I am. From showing up to work, getting paid just to be at work, from commission money that I'm making, and from the hours that I'm actually working as well. There's a lot of money involved when it comes to me losing whenever I take off work to go autocross. But luckily, as I said earlier, I won't have to deal with that for the rest of the year. So it's just something you guys are going to have to consider. And for my last point, safety. Safety costs a lot of money. Now, luckily, for at least for my region in the SCCA, a roll cage is not required for autocross. I don't know how it is for everywhere else. If you have a Miata with a soft top, you might have to get a roll cage. But there's one thing that is certain when it comes to the SCCA. You're going to have a proper helmet. You're going to have a Snell rated helmet. And I think they moved it up to 2025. It's pretty much where this one actually expires. You're going to have to get a new one of these, and a lot of these places, they're not going to offer like loaner helmets. Some will, but I know my region isn't offering loaner helmets right now. Reason being because they're getting new helmets in, so they got rid of the old helmets. But helmets are a very expensive thing you're going to have to worry about. This helmet right here is a Snell SA rated 2010 helmet. And I actually got lucky with this one, really. During my first autocross, they actually gave me this helmet for free. And that was a huge shocker, because it really saves me a lot of money. These helmets can get very, very expensive. I looked it up earlier before I did this video, and the cheapest helmets that I found were $150, which really isn't that bad, but they're on sale right now, and that's the only reason why they're that cheap. They're normally like $250 and going up. Summit Racing has a helmet that's $400. And if you have a big head like me, you can guarantee that these helmets are going to go up in price along with the size. The reason why they want you to have these helmets, because these are pretty much the best helmets that you can get. And accidents can happen. I've seen a lot of them while I was racing. Even last week when I was racing, there was a bunch of accidents. A Corvette actually had to be towed off the track because they had an accident. You see a lot of accidents. Luckily, I hadn't seen anything really serious. But depending on where you are, the accidents can get really, really serious. So you're going to need a lot of protection. Now, a lot of protection is very expensive. So yeah, that's pretty much a good estimate of how much it's going to cost for you to go autocrossing. Oh wait, dang it. I forgot to include how much it's actually going to cost to attend the event. Our events this year are held at Barber Motorsports Park in Birmingham, Alabama. And the Prices for attending the event can be $80 or $70, depending on if you're a novice or SCCA member or not. So take that into consideration. Most of the time they're not going to be that expensive. The only reason it's that expensive here because, well, we're racing at one of the big tracks in Alabama. So take that into consideration. I know I said that a lot today. Wow, I said that a lot during this video, now I realize. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. I am planning on making a lot more of these videos. I enjoyed making this one. And I'll try my best to put it out at least bi-weekly. But for now, I'm about to go pick up some cat food. So I'll see you guys next time.